For months, the Middle East has operated on a fragile baseline. Diplomatic channels pushed delicate peace negotiations between the United States and Iran, while physical violence remained largely confined to scattered, low-level proxy skirmishes. That baseline evaporated when the United States launched direct military strikes in the Strait of Hormuz, destroying Iranian radar sites and intercepting their surveillance networks. Tehran answered immediately. Bypassing proxy militias entirely, Iran launched a volley of ballistic missiles directly toward Kuwait and Bahrain, nations housing key allied infrastructure. At the exact same time on the Mediterranean coast, the Israeli military escalated its northern campaign, issuing mass force displacement orders across southern Lebanon and dramatically expanding its strike radius. State militaries are now trading direct blows across two distinct geographic fronts. The period of contained shadow warfare has ended. Theater 1 is the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow maritime choke point where global trade forces through a 21-mile passage. To assert dominance, American forces targeted coastal radar installations. Iran retaliated, firing ballistic missiles tracing paths toward Kuwait and Bahrain in a clear show of reach. Iran's foreign ministry publicly justified the strikes by accusing Washington of sabotaging regional diplomacy, stating explicitly that the U.S. lacks the will for stability. Behind that diplomatic rhetoric sits overwhelming physical force. Massive American carrier strike groups are permanently stationed in these waters to enforce military deterrence. Securing this maritime choke point requires active, kinetic engagements. The daily reality in the Gulf is a live battleground. Over 1,000 miles away, the Levant is fracturing under its own distinct pressures. Israel has pushed aggressively into southern Lebanon. While Hezbollah reports 22 separate strikes on their forces in a single day, the offensive has crossed into striking sovereign state assets. An Israeli attack killed 2 uniformed Lebanese army officers and a soldier while they were on patrol. Former U.S. diplomats note Washington's strategy involves giving Israel a free hand in the south. Yet the assassination of sovereign troops actively compromises America's own efforts to broker regional stability. The friction extends beyond battlefield tactics. Behind closed doors, the trust between the U.S. and Israel is deteriorating. Inside the Pentagon, the Defense Intelligence Agency recently overhauled its internal threat assessments regarding its closest Middle Eastern ally. Intelligence officials have officially elevated the threat level regarding Israeli espionage operations against the United States to critical. Israel is suspected of aggressively surveilling top U.S. officials to uncover internal White House deliberations about ending the war. The military alliance is physically robust, but internally compromised. Neighboring powers are now reacting to breached borders on 2 fronts, sending diplomatic shockwaves across the region. Both Saudi Arabia and Qatar issued harsh, unified condemnations, specifically denouncing Israel's lethal strikes on the Lebanese military. Meanwhile, urgent back-channel mediation is underway in Tehran, where Pakistan's interior minister arrived carrying a high-stakes message aimed at reducing tensions with the U.S. Yet these fragmented diplomatic interventions are entirely outpaced by the sheer speed of military escalation. The broader U.S.-Iran peace talks, once the fragile anchor of regional diplomacy, are collapsing under the weight of active missile exchanges. American forces clashing with Iran in the Gulf and Israeli troops pushing through southern Lebanon are parallel symptoms of the same collapsing security architecture. Allied intelligence networks are spying on each other. Diplomatic guardrails have failed. The localized skirmishes have merged into a sprawling, multi-front war.